All right, let's get right into it. If you're an aspiring doctor in India, you've probably heard the name Armenia pop up as a place to study medicine. But is it actually a good move? That's what we're going to unpack today. We'll look at everything, the good, the bad, the costs, and the whole process to help you figure it out. You've got that dream, right? The white coat, becoming a doctor. It's what keeps you going through all those late night study sessions. And it's a fantastic goal. But as I'm sure you know all too well, the journey to get there isn't always so simple. I mean, let's be real, the path in India is incredibly tough. You've got intense competition for a very small number of seats. And if you look at private colleges, the costs can be astronomical, sometimes over 1 crore rupees. That's just not an option for many families, which is why so many are looking for alternatives. And that search for an alternative often leads right here to Armenia. It's really become one of the go-to spots for Indian students who want a quality medical education without the crazy price tag and competition. But is it the golden ticket it seems to be? Okay, let's dive in. So first, let's look at the big sell. What's the pitch? Why is Armenia so attractive to Indian students? Well, the appeal really boils down to a few very compelling points. So, what's the draw? It's this combo right here. The cost is a fraction of what you'd pay in an Indian private college. The degrees are recognized by the National Medical Commission of India and the WHO, which is absolutely critical. The whole 6-year program is in English, so you don't need to worry about language tests like IELTS. And on top of all that, it's known to be a really safe and welcoming country. On paper, it looks like the perfect solution. Okay, so that all sounds good, but let's get down to the practical side of things. Let's talk money. What are the actual numbers we're looking at here? And check this out. You have affordable, NMC-approved options where the annual fees are around 3 to 3.5 lakh rupees. Even the big one, Yerevan State Medical University, comes in under 6 lakhs a year. Now just compare that to the 15, 20, or even 25 lakhs per year you might pay in India. The difference is just staggering. And of course, it's not just tuition. You have to live. This table gives you a realistic monthly budget. If you stay in a hostel and cook for yourself, and yes, you can find Indian groceries there, you can expect to spend somewhere between 22,000 and 33,000 rupees a month. For many families, that's a really manageable number. So when you add it all up, tuition, hostel, food, flights, the whole shebang for all 6 years, you're looking at a total cost in this range, from 22 to 38 lakh rupees for a complete, globally recognized medical degree. That number right there really shows you the core financial appeal of Armenia. But let's be super clear on the single most important academic requirement. According to the National Medical Commission's rules, for your foreign degree to be valid in India, you absolutely must have a qualifying score in the NEET exam. This is completely non-negotiable. Okay, so you're eligible, the budget works, what happens next? Let's walk through the admission process, which is actually pretty straightforward. The path is pretty linear. You pick your university, apply online with your documents, and you get an admission letter. Once you have that, you pay the first year's fees, apply for your student visa, and then you're on a flight to Yerevan to start your classes. Simple as that. All right, so far, this all sounds pretty amazing, maybe even a little too good to be true. But we're here to give you the full picture, not just the glossy brochure. So it's time for a reality check. What are the challenges you need to be aware of? So here's the trade-off. On one side, you have highly affordable fees and a valid degree. That's great. On the other side, you've got some pretty big challenges. The most critical one is the low pass rate for the Indian licensing exam, NEXT. We'll talk more about that in a minute. You'll also need to learn some basic Armenian or Russian for your clinical rotations to talk to patients, and you've got to be ready for some harsh winters and not a lot of part-time job opportunities. And here is a super important clarification, and this comes directly from the Indian Embassy in Yerevan. You might hear some marketing claims that Armenia is in Europe. It is not part of the European Union. It's a Eurasian country, and it's really important to be clear on that. So what's daily life like? Well, first off, the climate is a huge change. Winters are long and can get down to minus 15 degrees Celsius, so you'll need to pack warm. The hostels are functional but basic. And while your classes are in English, the moment you step outside, life happens in Armenian and Russian. Okay, so you've made it through the 6 years, you've adapted, you've graduated. What does the path look like after you get your degree? This is maybe the most important part of the whole conversation. You've got that MD degree in your hand. You're officially a doctor. But, and this is a big but, this is not the end of the journey, especially if you want to practice in India. It's actually the start of your next big challenge.
And that challenge is the National Exit Test, or NEXT. This is a mandatory exam for every single foreign medical graduate. Without passing this test, your degree does not allow you to practice medicine in India. It is the single biggest hurdle you're going to face when you come back. And this slide shows you just how big that hurdle is. Historically, the pass rate for graduates from Armenia on this exam has been somewhere between 18 and 25%. Now, this doesn't mean the education is bad. What it tells you is that the Indian exam is exceptionally tough. Just going to class is not enough to pass it. You will need intense, dedicated preparation, probably starting years before you even graduate. But passing NEXT isn't the only option. Your Armenian degree is recognized worldwide, which opens other doors. You could pursue post-graduation there, or you could prep for other licensing exams like the USMLE for the US or the PLAB for the UK. If you do clear NEXT and get your license in India, you can expect a starting salary somewhere in the range of 6 to 10 lakhs a year. So we've covered the dream, the costs, the reality, and the finish line. Now it all comes down to the final decision, which, of course, is a really personal one. It really boils down to this. The trade-off is crystal clear. Armenia offers an affordable, legitimate path to a medical degree. In exchange, you have to take on the massive responsibility of clearing a very, very tough licensing exam to practice back home in India. So ultimately, the question you have to ask yourself is this: is studying medicine in Armenia an affordable dream come true, or is it a calculated risk? The answer really depends on your budget, your discipline, and how willing you are to commit to years of hard work that goes way beyond your university classes. The choice is yours.